Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Everton 1, Liverpool 4. We are joined by Gaz in the studio to discuss this one. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it went pretty much how I think we all feared it may go in the end.
Yeah,
Didn't it?
pretty much. I think we all felt like it was going to be, a few goals. It was just nice to see Everton turn up for 25 minutes, maybe. Maybe.
Do you think? I mean, my feeling is the other goal, he was just nowhere near their level, but still making basic errors as well, guys.
Yeah, like as I said earlier to you, Liverpool never got out of first gear. They never had to. I think that 15 minutes, we'd give it a go. But I think that's because they took their foot off the pedal because it was that easy for them. It's just depressing because, like you say, give it a go for 15 minutes. So that means players on 100 grand a week or whatever have tried for 15 minutes in the last 8 weeks. How's that good enough?
I always think it's difficult that though, whether you think they try or they don't try. I didn't sit there last night and think these aren't even trying. I just sat there last night and thought, these just aren't very good. And I think my biggest issue with the game last night, I don't know whether you agree, was in possession of the football. When we had the ball, we looked absolutely petrified every time. There's only really Damari Gray who was willing to take the ball. Richarlison does it as well, to be fair, but there's only really Gray willing to take the ball under pressure and try to get out of it. Too many people just flicked it because they panic.
As a footballing team, we are abysmal. We are absolutely abysmal. We are a counter-attacking side that can't counter-attack. We are a team that has been fully built to, well, I say team, a way of playing is being built to get the most out of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And when Dominic Calvert-Lewin isn't there, it's baffling what we're trying to do. But what I would say about last night, and obviously with the team news being Rondon starting, it did feel like the penny had dropped. That if you're going to play the way you want to play, you need a big, hairy-arsed centre forward and not Richarlison. And as bad as Rondon's been, and as he wasn't great last night, the penny might be dropping, or may have dropped, that the system simply doesn't work with Richarlison up front. But it's Rondon, so it's do you know what I mean?
I disagree a little bit with.
No, but Richarlison is not for like.
No, he's not. But I think he got it wrong. The manager got it wrong last night.
100%.
I don't. Honestly, I don't.
That's fine.
That's fine. But I have to play three in midfield.
That's a different conversation.
Well, it's not because I think
it's a
if
different
you play
conversation.
Three in midfield, you can't play Richarlison through the.
See, I wouldn't have played Townsend last night. I'd have left him out. I don't understand what he was trying to do with him. He pushed him high to try and stop Trent Alexander-Arnold. What was the point in doing that? You're going to get battered all day. You play three in midfield, but I still would. Robinson. You still have to have for me, I'd still have played three, but I still think it's right that he went with the target man. The way we set up, but we not having three midfield in any game Everton play is criminal.
See, I think going into it, I think everyone was looking or a lot of Evertonians were looking and thinking Delph will have to come in. I mean, that's where we are, where we're asking for Fabian Delph to start. But
he's been all right, to be
fair. Done. This Man City was a disgrace at City. But Delph, because a lot of people said this, and I thought it on Sunday, I think you said it on Monday as well, the fact he didn't use him at Brentford seemed to be the fact he was going to keep him for Liverpool to make sure he had him. And then you have Decore and you have Allen, who are able to go and try and match them up. We're playing against one of the best midfields in Europe, the three, however they line up, because they know the job, they know the role. 2 against 3 in a Sunday league, you'd struggle. But 2 against 3 against top players, we were never going to be able to do it, were we?
Well, exactly. And I defend Benitez, but if we can see this, and I've not spoke to one single person who thought 2 would be good enough, apart from Benitez.
No.
And I've not spoke to him, obviously, but he must be the only person. And I said, I was in the top balcony, so you can see the amount of space and time.
Well done for staying in the top balcony, because I actually said to my missus, if I'd been in the top balcony, I might have, you know.
Yeah.
You can see it up there though, can't you?
You can, and like I said, I could have run amok in there. They had that much time to pick the pass and see what they wanted to do. And they're just so much quicker and stronger than we are.
That bizarre choice, because what we've seen in the last few games is Townsend will drop in and become that third centre midfielder. But last night he pushed him he was pushing him high on the right to stop Robinson, which meant Coleman was then left. There was one actually in the first half, in that first 20 minutes, which was one of the worst 20 minutes I've ever seen. They had the ball on the right and Mane was free on the left. And Townsend's going like that, pointing. I was like, no, mate, that's your job. But he'd obviously been told to stay so high. So you've got Mane then on his own, and that's what helps partly create the first goal, is because Mane gets on the ball and then there's an overlap. I was like, where's the extra man? So we didn't have an extra man in midfield, and then Townsend's playing high. It didn't make any sense, and this is what is going to undo Benitez. He's starting to expose himself. So where fans will have let him off and gone, I've got no money, or you've tried, or you've got no players because of injuries, people are now going, no, mate, this is you. Yeah. This is you. You refuse to play next to man in midfield against arguably the best midfield in not this country, Europe, for pressing. Not all right, maybe they haven't got the creativity of a Man City or whatever, but that's the best midfield in Europe for pressing. And we've gone 2 against 3. Oh, and Decore's been back 3 days.
And the thing about it is, he is exposing himself, Benitez. I thought when he come in, he'd give us stability, he'd give us his tactic. Everyone says, oh, he's a great tactician. I thought, oh, well, tactically, he'll have us nice and tight. We'll be able to do this and that. We're all over the place. Let's be honest, right? We make a mistake in the first 45 seconds. A ball through, Pickford starts to come. It really should be dealt with quickly, and it wasn't. The two of them, they end up getting a corner. The corner comes in, and Mathew heads it wide. He should score. He's on his own.
He should score.
And then about a minute later, Salah puts one out, and it was a difficult one.
He should have scored.
But he should hit the target. So, and you're going, there's been 3 minutes gone, and we could be 2-0 down already.
Even before the goal, Mane had Coleman on toast again, and Pickford made a great save. I don't know who it was from.
Oh, when it got cut back, Henderson, I think it was. It was a good save.
But God, you can't ask Coleman to mark Mane. He needs help.
You can if you're getting help.
Yeah, he
because
needs
I think
help
1v1. I think if he's 1v1 and tight, he's not bad, Coleman, at that still. But not all game, and not when he's got an overlap and runner. And that's how the first goal came.
Yeah.
They got the ball, got played out to Mane. He held it up like Pet said. There's an overlap round the corner. Robertson makes the run round the corner. He cuts the ball back to the edge of the box. And guess what? Henderson, who was the floating midfielder for them, is on his own. Yeah. And if you had 3 in midfield, Richarlison, Richarlison's a great player for Everton. You know, he's not really doing it at the moment, but he's been really good since he come in, hasn't he? He only wants to go one way. He's not going to run back and track Jordan Henderson. He's not going to do it, because when you're a forward, it's not your natural instinct to run the other way.
And if he does, he'll get booked.
So he's never going to run that. So that means that if Liverpool commit men into the box, someone's got to go with them. No one went with him. It come back to Henderson, and he left-footed finish, curls it round the keeper. Good finish. It was a good goal. It
felt like a certain irony to it, didn't he? After what happened last season, him getting that first goal, it just felt like it felt like just a continuation of what they did in that last 5 minutes last season, and it was just too easy. It was just far too easy. And when it went in, the scariest thing about being in the ground was, it was like, oh no, we've conceded so early that we're going to concede loads now. No, oh no, the plan is out the window, or there goes our chance of winning the game. It was like, shit, they've got 80 minutes to score as many goals as they want. That's what my feeling was anyway. It was like, oh God.
And it became 2-0 a lot long after that. And another one, we lose the ball in transition. We're trying to attack, one of the rare times we're trying to attack. And the worst thing is, we give the ball away.
Ben Godfrey.
So cheaply.
Yeah. Ben Godfrey gives the ball away.
Tackle,
He gives the ball away in the middle of the park. He gives the ball away in the middle of the park, so that's him out of it, our quickest centre-back. And then Luca Dean, Jesus Christ, he looked like he was running in a dream. He was just like, it was He was a different planet.
I hate that.
He was like, but again,
he's up
no,
against
but
the
again,
fastest player.
no, Baz, but again, no, it's that thing of, I'll make it look like I'm running, but I'm actually not really arsed here. You're not telling me the difference between Salah and him running is the difference between me and bleeding Usain Bolt. He just away. But the positioning of Dean as well was horrendous. You've got one player to mark because you know he's their danger man, and they don't. They don't.
The thing is, he didn't do one or the other.
No,
he went tight to him, which means one ball, you're out of the game. If you're gonna mark him, and that's what you've been asked to do, surely you've got to give him a little bit of space so that if he sets off on the run, you're giving yourself a chance. He's not quicker than Mo Salah, is he? He's not what a lightning left back Luke Dean. No, so he got caught, and obviously once Salah's away, Pickford comes and goes back. I'm not blaming him. I think if he thinks if I come sliding out, he'll dink me.
Yeah.
So he goes back. He might have been able to take another step to the right and make the goal a bit smaller, but it was a good finish. And you're 2-0 down then, aren't you? And going, oh God, here we go.
Just expecting the worst. But like I say, Salah's quick, but he's not that quick as he looked there. Like I say, I went to my brother, he's offside.
Because he was so far
ahead. I thought he must be offside. And you look at it, weren't even close. No. It's just...
Do you know what was horrible about that? 20 minutes gone, 2-0 down. And I turned to me, my nephew, my brother-in-law, and I was saying, do you know what's horrible about this? You know when we went to Anfield and we had that game plan and we played 5 at the back and Seamus Coleman just followed, was it Robinson round for the whole game?
Yeah.
It was like, that on that night, we had that plan, didn't we? We had a plan for stopping them from playing, and we sat on the edge of the area and then we broke. There was no plan last night. It didn't feel like there was any plan. And I know, listen, Carlo Ancelotti gets a lot of abuse but on that night, tactically, he got it so spot on. And obviously scoring a goal early on was great. And all we did was we sat on the edge of our box and we didn't allow any space behind us. But last night, like, allowing your centre-back to run into midfield and then leaving one of the quickest players on the planet on his... Not only is he the quickest player on the planet, one of them, he's also one of the best finishers on the planet. Yeah. He doesn't get ruffled. There's never a case where you look at Salah and think you're not in complete control of that football. Like, I turned around to my brother, there was a bit where he fell into the Gladys Street and I think someone gave him a couple of slaps on the head and I just thought, the bastard hasn't even reacted to that. He's so calm and calculated.
He is very, like, messy, like, in
terms of finishing, he is.
Not even just finishing,
everything.
But like when he kick him, he just gets. There's no fuss. He just gets up and gets on.
And we leave him unmarked. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
He's the best. He's probably at the moment the best.
He probably isn't the best. And we've left him unmarked.
Without a shadow.
And we've left him unmarked. And we've left him unmarked. We've left him on his own
several times.
And there's no plan for him. Like Mane's a kind of player where you feel like he's brilliant, and you've seen it. And they've seen the way Mane sort of plateaued, but. Where Salah's just elevated himself. You see that, and you think to yourself, you've got no plan for this player.
You can ruffle Mane. You can get Mane. Like,
and also know what you can do.
He's still brilliant.
You can take Mane out the game, and then he was pretty much out the game last night. And you can get him like he wants to be the main player, but he's not. And I think there's a certain frustration with that, which you can like lean into. But with Salah, you can't, so you've got to have a plan for him. And I know there's that the old thing of like, well, you can make a plan for him, but then you've got the other fella, and you've got the other fella. No, mate, he's the best player on the pitch. Have some kind of system, which is going to mean you're not letting him have a free run.
Well, the goals he scored, Godfrey was caught out of position, and he's the only pace we've got. Yeah. The plan should have been, you just stick with him. Stick with him. Wherever he goes, you go.
Do you think if Yerry Mina would have been fit, imagine he wouldn't take Luca Dino? But I was thinking for a game like that, you could maybe have put Godfrey like left back on Salah because he's physically strong and he can run. But
the top and bottom of it is though. The top and bottom of it is Godfrey's gone into midfield and lost the ball because number one, he is absolutely garbage in possession. Like honestly, it's like Ben Godfrey is like he's a complete athlete, and he's like defensively he's good, but on the ball he's horrendous.
Needs work.
And he's gone into midfield and he's lost it because they've got an extra man. Because one of them's sitting there going, I don't have to do that thing that the other two are doing. And it was so easy for Henderson. It was so easy for Fabinho. Thiago's walking around with his slippers on, because we've got 4 attacking players who...
It's no good having 4 attacking players
if you haven't got the ball. If you haven't got the ball.
Because there's no game plan. There was no game plan.
No.
Rondon in the first, I've seen other people saying he was really good. I didn't think he was. I thought
he was really good.
I thought
He was
after
better than he has
I
been.
thought
It's
the
not
like
saying
15 or so minutes after half time, I thought he was on it, and he was starting to knock them about, and he brought a couple down and brought people into play. Certainly the first half an hour, he was terrible. He wasn't pressing. He wasn't not jumping into Mathew. He was losing headers, the thing he's supposed to win.
I think for the first 20 minutes, everybody on that pitch was
I thought Gray was okay.
Was completely outrun and outnumbered, and Gray's trying things, but they're not coming off because there's no one around them on the same wavelength. Gray is our only really decent player at the moment. But what I thought Rondon did after that initial spell was he just started to do that thing we've asked of him, which is back yourself into the centre back, and
That's what I thought
and
he
when
was gonna
and
do
when
when
every
he
time he went up for a header, he made it so it wasn't like a clean header,
making it difficult,
and then we picked up the pieces a
That's
little bit
what you
more.
needed. And what Everton did for the last 15 minutes of the first half, we actually just ran a little bit harder, and we got in the faces a little bit more, and we competed, which is why we got the goal.
Yeah.
We got the goal because we decided not to let them have a simple pass, which we've been doing.
Like I say, I don't think there was a game. Like you say, whose fault it? You've got to point the finger at the manager. I'm not saying sack him.
Yeah.
Who else would you get for the start? But you're saying we're outnumbered. We were physically outnumbered.
We were, yeah.
And there's only one person to blame for that.
But if you're saying, and again, I'm not sat here going, he has to sack him right now.
No.
But with 8 games without a win, we've won 1 in. Someone said it's 1 in 11. I thought it was 1 in 10. Right, which was in September, which was Norwich City, right? 10 games have gone by and we've won 1. So Aston Villa sacked their manager after 3 defeats. Solskjaer was booted out of United. Norwich kicked their manager out, and he didn't have a worse. He had a better run than what Benitez is on. So at what point do you go, right, okay? And I'm, again, like I said, I'm not saying sack him today, but I'm just saying the people have got to look at that, because you can't keep going, well, he'll get it right
Do
eventually.
you think they have looked at it?
I don't know, Gas. I honestly don't know.
There's no... Name someone.
Lucien Favre
or Duncan. They'd be my own.
What I would say is, right,
Do you think they've spoke to... They might have spoke to Favre. They might have
problem
spoke to
is-
these managers. And no one wants it. So they're like... Well,
Yeah.
But if you're
can't
keeping
sack
it on
him.
this,
Maybe, you
if
don't
you're
know.
keeping it on this manager though, surely if you're a counter-attacking team, the first rule of counter-attacking is don't concede.
Yeah.
Be good in defence. Stop the opposition from at the edge of your box and break on the pace.
What did we say in the thingy? Don't concede.
Yeah.
If you concede 1, stay
in the game. Which I thought we'll come on to what happened at 2-1.
Yeah.
But surely you need a defensive. Like, we're playing against. We're playing against one of the best teams in the world. Doesn't matter which way you cut it. Doesn't matter how bitter you are. Doesn't matter how much you hate them. They are one of the best teams in the world. They are elite. It's like playing against PSG, Manchester City, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, whoever else. They are one of the best teams in the world, and we've allowed ourselves to be outnumbered in midfield. Yeah. We've basically said your midfield, not that dead good midfield, that is one of the best midfielders in the world. But we're just allowing you to do anything. How does that set up the team? I look at it and think, if you're going to go play like Allardyce did or whatever, you have a back 4 you can rely on. Then you have at least 3 fellas in front who are going to do the jobs. And then you've got Gray, and then you've got Richarlison or Townsend or Rondon or Anthony Gordon. They're like, and you ask one of those midfielders, wouldn't it be nice if we had the midfielders who broke the lines? It was about 6'4". Oh yeah, we have. His name's Decore, you tit. Right. Who will just be the fella who goes, I'm going. Decore got caught so many times in midfield last night trying to take people on. It was unbelievable. So you've got Allen giving the ball away with his passing, and then you've got Decore giving the ball away because he's trying to take people on that he can't. Whereas if you had 2 players like Delph and Allen, and all their job was to do is to take the ball off them, and then you said to Decore, break the lines, because they didn't like us breaking the lines last night. You could see that.
That was how we got it.
Look at the goal, how we scored the goal. We broke through the lines. Gray goes through the middle. No one's sacking him because he's not playing up front. Richarlison finds him with a nice ball, and he's through. because they don't like, no football team likes teams playing through the lines. They just don't like it. And we've just sat there and gone, come here lads, come through. Like what? Like the manager can cry all he wants about I haven't had this or I haven't had that or with the injuries. That's basic football. I wouldn't turn up with a Sunday League team that I knew was amazing. Go lads, do what you want today, lads. But that's what it felt like last night. That's what it felt like.
It was almost
just fingers
like,
crossed.
Well, it was and a little bit of arrogance of, like you just said, one of the best midfields in Europe, and we're saying we can cope with it with only 2 in there, and one of them, Alan's all right, he's not bad, but he's not mobile.
No.
So you're going, hang on, Alan, who isn't mobile, is gonna be able to get around 3 midfield players who are very good in possession and who work the socks off, and then Decore, the pair of them, Alan and Decore. I didn't think Alan had a very good game, but he never stopped trying. Decore was better, and he never stopped trying, but physically,
but they were losing the ball all the time because there was only 2 of them in there. Yeah. Because there was so every time one of them got the ball, Alan would try and give a clever little pass that never worked, and then Decore was trying to get past people, and they just kept on taking the ball because there wasn't an extra player in there to take up the space. Jordan Henderson played that game in his slippers last night.
But it's not a surprise. We knew this was going to happen if he played too.
Yeah,
been saying it for weeks. Everyone has, and he does it.
But this is what people like Andy have been saying from the start. He said he's arrogant and he digs in, and when he wants to do something, well, stubborn and arrogance are the same thing, Andy. Yeah. When he wants to do something, he won't let anyone else tell him otherwise. No. And this is the problem. This will be his downfall at the football club, is because I said it on the day. The minute we scored the goal against Watford, it should have been 3 in midfield and shut up shop. We know that. We had David Moyes for years. We had the worst sub. As football fans, if we're educated on one thing, it's how to shut a game out. And that's what he should have done, but he didn't. And every game, Watford, Wolves. Yeah. Not only are we playing 2, but we're playing 1 who hasn't played for 2 years. Are you mental? Are you mental, mate? Like, at some point, you've got to recognise that your team are not good enough and need someone in midfield just to break it up a little bit.
Has he always played 2? Or has he ever played? I don't mean for us. I
obviously speak to the Redmen lads, and they have said many times, like he likes 2, but they were saying today, like Steve, one of the lads was saying, at Liverpool he wouldn't have. He said we couldn't believe that team last night. How it was almost trying to be so offensive. Again, he said, because at Liverpool, like we played Wigan, he said he'd play 5 in midfield beneath us. Yeah. And we'd be going, play 2 up front, he wouldn't, he'd play 5, but he'd win. And he went, last night, he was playing against us, who was scoring goals, and he was so open. And it's open, not for playing this flow and football, open because numerically, we were just all over the gaff. And if he'd have played 3 in midfield, you'd have been able to compete. We got back in at a 2-1. Good pressing, we win the ball, good little ball, nice little finish from Gray. You're back in the game, 2-1. They're looking around going, hang on, this has been easy. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's 2-1. Then we have Decore, which one that gets cleared.
Last minute of the first half.
Cleared off the line or close to the goal. He hook it away, could have gone 2-2. And you'd have gone in at half time going, at half time we're talking amongst ourselves going, it could be 2-2. It should be probably 5-2. Yeah. Really, because they missed chances. And you're going, but we're in this game. We come out for the second half. We were a little bit quicker, but all of a sudden looking at them going, we actually might get something here because we feel like we're back in the game. The crowd were bouncing at that stage. We're getting corners. We get a free kick, which Townsend takes. And all you're asking there for your team
stay in the game.
To just stay in the game. Nothing stupid. And we do something stupid. I mean, Pep pointed it out. We get a free kick. Rondon went off injured, didn't he? Which is mad because he's having a good 15 minutes.
It was Stuart Barlow versus Bolton.
Yeah, he's having as good a 18 minutes as he's had, and he gets an injury. Anthony Gordon comes on, which is fine. You know, you're attacking. Gordon gets us that free kick on the edge of the box, and the crowd are up, and you're thinking, hit the target. Yeah. He takes it, it clips off the head, and I think it was hitting the target.
It was hitting the target.
Whether it had gone in is another thing. And we get a corner, and Pet said, we rush to take the corner. When the street end's bouncing, and they're probably thinking we're under a bit of pressure here. Yeah. He should have took ages over that.
He took no care over it. The blame will go the blame on the goal going Seamus Coleman, but Townsend takes no care there. He puts it down and he just literally puts it in. It's like he gets caught up. He gets caught up in the momentum. It gets nodded out at the near post. I think it's Gray who clips
it's a poor ball to Coleman.
It is. I'm not being funny. 10-year-old. If there's a 10-year-old on the halfway line there, I'd expect us to sort that out. It's not a great ball. The ball was bouncing. Maybe he should have just overhead kicked it back into the other way. Maybe, but that's a mentality thing. I think every time the ball seems to come out of the box, we always seem to go backwards. We had one at the weekend where we kicked it straight back to Pickford.
Off our corner.
Off our corner. It's like a mentality thing. But Seamus Coleman, do me a favour.
Got to deal with it. When he
doesn't deal with it, foul him.
Well, it was right below me. Yeah. And as it went up in the air, you know the way your brain rolls, and I'm looking, thinking, you've got to deal with it. Because Salah's closing down, he'll volley this.
Just put your head on and
he doesn't volley it. It bounces, I'm thinking, just toe poke it away. He doesn't toe poke it, it goes between his legs, and Salah's on the run. I'm thinking, just grab him back. There's a covering defender.
About it. There's
no red card.
And then he pulls it
just
back.
Pull him, it's a yellow card.
It's a red card.
There's a man next to him.
But the thing,
there's a man next to him.
No, hang on. You watch referees in the Premier League every single week. It's a red card.
I don't think
if he touches Salah there,
he's in his own half by 5 yards. Now we know how quick Salah is compared to Dean. I think it's Dean.
It's a yellow card.
But Dean is closer to our goal than Salah is.
Yes, yeah. It's a yellow card.
It's a yellow card.
There's no way on earth.
He didn't catch him.
Yeah,
it's a red card.
But you
if there's a covering.
If he gets it, if he touches him there, he's going. That's it.
I don't think he is.
He has the moment where Salah's round the back of him. He grabs him. No one's ever been sent off in their own half ever. So therefore,
there you go. That's why it would have been a red
card. Salah's
card.
going to leave Dean for dead. We know that, but you can't assume that.
No,
you've got to say if he's goal side of him.
You're a grown man. Just kick the ball away. You're a grown man.
He should have just volleyed it, even if he volleys it in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's got to deal with it.
If he'd headed it, if he'd put his head low and headed it, he would have got a free kick because Salah would have kicked him in the face.
At that stage, his head was gone a bit Seamus. He'd had one where he gave a corner away under no pressure. He chested it out for no reason instead of letting it bounce out. We'd had the moment where he ran into Pickford and it rolled back and Pickford had to dive on it. His head was gone.
You've seen the interviews with Gary Neville where he says, I just thought, I can't do this anymore. I'm not good enough, I'm retired. Surely, this has got to be going on. He's damaging his legacy, he's lost it, he's gone.
No, they're damaging his legacy. Seamus Coleman just gets put on a pitch every week, doesn't he? He still plays for Ireland. He's that kind of fella. He'll play till he drops. A 50-year-old Seamus Coleman, if you ask him to play for Everton, will play for Everton.
I think you've got it.
The problem is that
you've got to realise it.
No, but he won't,
though, I do think we have to address it because you're right, it's damaging his legacy. He's been fantastic. He's a great fella, love him, absolutely love him, but you're right, the Premier League is unforgiving. It's unforgiving. He's had a terrible injury. He's come back, he's had a go, but it's Everton have put him in this position. Seamus Coleman is like a warrior type lad. He's Irish, he's everything. He'll give you every last drop.
He lost 2 years
he's got
of his career.
But he'll give you every last drop he's got.
Of course he will.
So if you say to him, Seamus Coleman, put it this way, doesn't put himself on a treatment table and go, Gaffer, bit tight, bit tight. If you said, Seamus, we need you to play, he'll go, right, give me something to take this pain away, I'm playing for you. And he'll run his bollocks off. Is he good enough anymore? Probably not. Can he? We're letting him down. We let Tim Howard down. We let Sylvan Distan down. Leon Osman was another one. We're playing him well past what he should be playing. We almost done him with Leighton Baines. Only he was clever enough to go. And luckily we had Luca Dean in.
Exactly.
This has happened
it's criminal
for
that
years.
We haven't got a right back.
It's happened for years.
But it's letting the team down more than anything, because if you look at the structure, if we had two attacking right backs, we could have a third man in midfield without any issue. You wouldn't be relying on Townsend to push their full back because you're saying to our full back, aren't you? You do that job. That's what they did.
Even if you go three at the back, you can do that.
Well,
we haven't got three centre halves at the minute.
You've got to go with Seamus. Is like we've just said, he'll play for you with half a leg if you ask him to. I don't think he's the type of fella that'll look after himself. And what I mean by that is he won't go, I'm playing crap here.
No.
Bit tight today, Gaffer. Not playing, bit tight today. Where I think we've got a few in this squad that hop on the treatment table like that and go, yeah, exactly. We've got another one from Portugal that hasn't been seen for about 3 months.
Yeah.
And has been training for about 3 weeks and somehow still isn't fit enough to get in the squad. ask yourself questions. Seamus Coleman ain't one of them. Seamus Coleman will go,
I'm
I
not
will
doubting
play.
it, but
Right?
he's
No, I know,
not
Gas, you're
good
right.
enough.
But then from our perspective and watching the game, he's not good enough. Seamus now, for me, would be a really good backup right back, where you can put him in for a game or two, and he'll do you a job, and you say to him, Seamus, just mark him.
Do you know what?
Right,
Right.
he'll do a job, and then he comes back
on
out.
this the same as
But even though, do you know what Seamus Coleman could do? He could be a third centre-back if we had a right wing-back.
If you had
but
a
we
right
haven't
wing-back,
even got another right...
We can't even help him
John
out
Joe
that way.
Kenny is not... I mean, I wouldn't even put him on the bench.
Is he on the bench?
He was on the bench
He was
last
on
night.
last
His
night,
boss are
yeah.
warming up. He's warmed up brilliantly for about the last 20-odd games. But Seamus could be moved to right centre-back in a
If he
three.
wants-
In a
if he
three,
wants him to, yeah.
if you needed him to. There's a lot of you could use with his experience, but sadly, I'd love to look at all the other players in the league and look at Villa. So Villa have got Ashley Young, haven't they?
Who's their backup?
Who's their backup,
They have
and they'll
Mathew
bring him in
Cassian
when they need to. And I think he came on again last night because Bailey got injured, and they'll use him sparingly. And maybe some games he'll start. But he's only about the same age, isn't he?
Coleman's not that old, but he's had the
34 years.
injuries, isn't he?
So he's 33. Seamus is 33. Had a terrible injury, which is obviously going to put it's going to put wear and tear on him. And they play him every game, and I see stuff like that, and I can't get angry. I almost refuse to get angry at Seamus Coleman because these idiots are allowing this fella to. It's horrible
my
to
only
watch.
thing with Seamus is just simplify it then. Like last night when that's in the air, just follow you.
Yeah.
You know, just do things you're still good. Because he is, like I said, 1v1. If he's marking you tight, he's good. His experience is good. But giving him a lot of the ball. Modern day football, your fullbacks after that. Look at their one. Look at their right back last night. He plays with slippers on. He's strolling around, he's comfortable in possession, he's hitting cross-field balls, he's whipping crosses in, he's up and down constantly. That's the modern day fullback.
Look at Chelsea's God. I think they're the top two scorers of the fullbacks, aren't they? Which is...
Reece James is brilliant, isn't he? There's lots of them, but...
We haven't
What
got
have we got?
even Dean's
offered as well, isn't he?
He's...
Do you put that down to the manager though, saying, don't cross the halfway line, or what? Or is it
I
on
don't
Luca
think he
Dean?
was very good last year either, if we're being honest, especially second half of the season. So I think he's on.
I think it's him.
Yeah. And it's Alan as well has not been as good. I think we've got a lot of players who are on the slide, and we've got no one younger, hungry to come in.
We've got a lot of, and I will say this, we've got a lot of shit asses who play for us. We've got a lot of people. This is where
Sunny day players we've got.
Yeah.
But we've
When
got a
it's
lot
going
of these
well,
players,
people.
said this loads of times, we've got a lot of players who, when everything's going great, they're great.
They look great.
But when the chips are down, they're nowhere to be seen. You know, Dean was horrendous last night. He was horrendous. He was at times I was laughing how bad he was.
What?
He was trying to do all like weird, clever stuff when you've got like 3 players around you. It's like simplify your game. Because I actually thought Michael Keane did all right last night. Because he just did the basics, what I want him to do. Like, and I got loads of abuse after the game on my player ratings. People saying, oh, he was terrible. It's like, he's up against 3 of the best attackers in the world. And the fullbacks aren't helping him.
No.
The centre midfielders are outnumbered. And he's not a very good player, Michael Keane. And I thought he just tried to win his battles without doing anything stupid. He never jumped in on anyone. It's hard. That's tough. That's tough when
He's just not imposing enough.
No, he's not. He's
for
not.
the size of him.
When you're watching their second best centre back, in Mathew be just
Have it all day.
amazingly better than anyone we've got. It's hard, but we've got very, very bad footballers.
The third
You're saying
goal killed us, though, didn't it?
Exactly,
It
but you're
just
saying
killed.
Dean's terrible last night. That's not an outlier.
No.
He's been terrible all season.
He's been terrible since he come back from the injury last season. He's been terrible.
But the backups for him, what do? Send out one on loan and let one walk out the door. So we've got no backup for either fullback, and they're both.
Well, I
jockeying
mean, that's
at
where
the
you've
minute.
got to look at the director of football and the recruitment team. We've got no backup right back, and we've got no backup left back. And our backup right back and left back is our centre back in Ben Godfrey. Because Ben Godfrey would play left back before anyone else in the squad, and he'd play right back if Seamus Coleman wasn't fit.
Now we've got no centre half, so he's got to play
So
there.
he's got to play there. because Yerry Mina, I don't know where he is, you know, his quad or whatever, thigh strain, that's just dragging on and
Spain,
on.
the last time I looked.
And, you know, he's having a break in Spain and he's gone to a specialist in Barcelona, apparently. So there we go, she's not even here at times. And then you've got
Holgate banned for being...
Holgate banned for losing his head when he was given one little job to do. Not that he wouldn't have made any difference, I don't think, last night. But all over the squad, we've got these holes. Yes, on a sunny day, when it's 1-11 and everybody's 100% fit, the team's a good... Well, hang on. The team is a decent team when everybody's fit 1-11. But when are we ever going to... Like you said it a few times. So you've got to have squad players. You can carry one squad player in a team. If you've got 10 of your normal players fit and you put one of these in, Andre Gomez or someone, you can maybe carry it. But we're having to put 3 or 4 in. They're nowhere. They're not even the next level down. They're like 3 levels down. Aren't they?
Well, that's Brands' fault. He's been there for 4 years, is it?
This is his 4th season.
Again, the same as with Benitez, playing the 2 in midfield, everyone could see it. Everyone has been saying for 18 months, we need a right back.
Well, we got Sidderby in, because Sidderby was supposed to be the placeholder for the year while we found the right back. It was supposed to be Sidderby, then Max Aarons, wasn't it? That was what Everton's plan was. And here we are, they're coming into 2.5 years later. We've only got Coleman now.
We chased the right back all summer and then decided he was too expensive and the manager didn't want it. It's a fucking joke. It's just like, who's telling who what? Who does what? Is Brands buying the players or is he not buying the players? Is the manager buying the players or is he not buying the players? Who does what at this football?
What did you make of the videos gone down? Someone confronted him. Fair play to the lad, because he'd had enough and he thought, I'm going to speak to him. What did you make of his answer? Is it only the
same
players?
As
what do you make of that?
No, I know, the same as his answer was when he said it'll all be all right. We're moving the stadium. I don't care, mate. I don't care about your shite little soundbites. I want you to come out and speak to us like we are adults, because we are adults. And also, guess what? We're adults with money. And we'll take that money and we'll keep it. And I'll go on about 3 or 4 fucking European breaks every year instead of coming to watch this crap. Like, if we were all customers and we started complaining about the service, you know, so
why did you go back?
It would all change. No, but it'd all change, wouldn't it?
But if you took the emotional pull out of Everton Football Club, that's on all of us, on everyone watching, right? Just take the emotion out of it and just put it over there. You're like, bully, you got that. Put that in your pocket. That's over there. And it became something you just did. Not like you go to pitches with your kids or you do whatever. If it just became that,
whatever it is,
would you bother going back? Because what you're seeing is crap. There's no hope. It's not like, yeah, but Baz, we're building, you know, and then next year when these players all blossom, we're going to be going for winning cups and getting into Europe. There's none of that.
So it's our fault for carrying on going. No, you can't help it.
I guess that's my point. What I'm saying is, with no emotional pull, why would we possibly carry on going?
You wouldn't. Like I said, today, took me kid, me missus, talking the best part of 300 quid on a day.
For food and travel and the tickets
taxis,
and
trains,
all of
everything. And 300 quid.
To see what, though?
If you paid 300 quid to go to the cinema and saw...
You go to Lanzarote for 300 quid?
And that's...
No, but this is the point being...
20 times a season.
Yeah, this is the point, isn't it? When we're sitting here, we're not kids. We've given all our lives to this football club to be treated like knobheads. Treated like knobheads. And I'm simply not having it anymore, and I'll burn all the fuckers out. I don't give a monkeys. I will go on, if Sky Sports asks me to go on, if BBC asks me to go on, if they all come down, I will burn these fuckers out of this club. I'm not interested anymore. People, you don't care, you get your free shirt. We get a free shirt to advertise for those pricks, because they can't do it. I will burn all of these pricks out of this club. I've done it before and I'll do it again. I'm not asked. These people who run this club now aren't Everton fans. Bill Kenley can tell me he's the biggest Everton fan in the world. No, mate. Get on a coach at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't claim to be the biggest Everton fan in the world. No. To go to these people who get on coaches at 5 o'clock in the morning and go everywhere. and tell them you're the biggest fan in the world. I don't give a monkeys how many times you've mortgaged your house. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about Denise Barrett Baxendale. Couldn't care less about Farad Mashiri. Anyone on that board. I will burn all those pricks out of this club because I'm sick to death of them treating us like kids, like we don't matter. By not. So when someone goes up to Brands and says to him, you know, what's going on at the club, and he gives a fucking stupid flipper answer that might sound good on. No, talk to us like we're adults. Take that as, oh my God, there might be an issue here. When the fans aren't singing Rafa out, by the way, in the Galaxy, they're singing the board out. Take that as an instruction that there might be a problem at the club, and come and speak to us like grown-ups. Not on a virtual AGM, you absolute shitbags. Do it live. Do what... I've got people the other week laughing at me saying, get the Echo Arena and get all the season ticket. Well, that's what Bayern Munich do. And their fans go, we don't want to deal with Qatar. We don't want to deal with that horrible country. What we want is to come and speak to us. You know what? We've got a fans forum. We've got lots of different people who've got different remits who could speak. This isn't about me. It's about you. This isn't about other people who have podcasts or whatever. This is about actual people who want to have their voice heard and are not allowed to by a club that at the moment are sitting here going, you know what, we were going to do an advent calendar. I'll put that away. You know, how are we going to advertise all the empty tickets for Monday night? How are we going to do it? What are we going to do? Oh, can we get Leon Osman and send them go-karting with Darren? Oh, what are we going to do? No. Come out and speak to us like we're adults, because that's what we are. Because, you know, because kids don't want to watch Everton anymore. They want to sit at... Dad, I don't want to go to the game, because it's crap.
My lad still loves it, I don't know, which is
mine does, but
bizarre.
It's how long that goes on for, guys, innit?
If it weren't for him, I might just stop going as many games.
Do you know what it is?
It's getting to that now.
It is getting to that state. You're absolutely right. It's the thing
the club
of, like,
come out
it's
and
the
speak
thing
to us.
about, like, how you are treated ultimately. Football is difficult, of course it is, because there's only one winner and all, but you can't hide behind that, because you still should be trying to... See, I'm just not convinced in any way, no matter how many people tell me, I am not convinced that football club wants to win as much as I do.
No.
That football club, I want Everton to win the Premier League. I want Everton to be a team that is in the Champions League. I want Everton to win FA Cups. I want to see lads who are 30 and under bouncing around, delighted, the joy. I want to see our kids just made up, right, that we've won a trophy, to be able to walk around and go, we won the FA Cup, we've won the Premier League, we're in the Champions League, we're in the bleeding basket, the bin things, you know, friggin' waste paper basket trophy, the conference every year, right? I want that, because to me, finishing in the top 7 isn't difficult. This is a shite league. There's 3 great teams. The rest are bang average. And Everton are bang average now. Right? But it isn't difficult to get there. Moyes has proved that. Moyes went into West Ham. They were going down. A year later, they're in Europe, because it isn't difficult. Because he knows how to buy. And yet, we have pissed up money up the wall. We've got a director of football that either hasn't got the bollocks to walk away from the mess he's made, or he's compliant in the whole thing and allows it.
As soon as he signed that new contract, he's written off for me. You can't say it's not his decisions, because if it's not his decisions,
why
he shouldn't have signed it.
And listen, he'll have a team underneath him, a recruitment team, who should be able to see things. They've got all the data, they've got everything they want at their disposal. The owner keeps making silly mistakes. No one on the board is picking it up and driving it forward. What? Communication. It's not like they don't know how to communicate, because the ground stuff has been excellent. But you can't, it's like when they wheel Everton in the community out, which is a separate business and ran by great people. They go, look how posh we are. They're doing it with the ground. Yeah, that is great. The ground is boss, it's exciting. But it ain't going to be exciting if the club goes and continues to stagnate.
We're in a relegation.
But it's a very easy,
that's
a very easy narrative though, isn't it? Because when you've got a ground, everything's positive. They don't know how to deal with this kind of narrative, because they don't know how to talk to fans. They don't know how to speak to us, because they've buried their heads for 20 odd years, when other football clubs' media departments have been facing up to what the issues are. And you, like you just said, we're in a relegation fight. We're in the bottom 5. And
is that where we are? 15th.
We are, you know, we're down there.
14th, I think.
We on goal, on points. Sorry, goal difference. We might be out. We're down there,
good.
And it's not going to get it. It's not. It doesn't look like it's going to get any better.
We'll be in the bottom 3 by Christmas.
And
14th. Yeah.
And it's a case of the club are just okay. Father Machete goes on TalkSport and says, we're keeping him at sound. It's like, hang on. Because Jim, his mate, won't ask him a difficult question. What about your position? What about that person's position? It's all about Rafa. They've got, you know, the more they talk about Rafa Benitez, the more they don't have to talk about themselves. But someone has to come out and start addressing. Because
there's only Machete can do it, because they're not going to. Denise is not going to sack herself. Brands isn't going to sack himself. Bill's not going to do anything. The only person who can do it's Machete.
Someone at that football club,
but the fans need to put pressure on him
make a decision and go, this isn't good enough. Why have we wasted all this money? Why are we in the position? Who's accountable for why we are in the position we are in? And that's it, isn't it?
It's not someone, only Machete can do that.
Exactly, because he's the only one who can go, I own this company, and I can see the CEO isn't doing the job. I can see the chairman isn't doing the job, and I can see the director of football isn't doing the job. He's the only person until he wakes up, and you hear nothing. We signed with another betting company yesterday, and it looks, you know, it's one of them. What's sweet about that? That's going to be sound, whatever.
They need to have a reset somehow.
Well, I think they might get one at the end of the season.
But whether that's bringing in someone who's ran football clubs, someone who's, you know, go, like you've said before, go and get the fella from the Premier League who's Masters. He was at the game, wasn't he, last night? Someone said.
Yeah, go and get him.
Go and get him, ex-Premier. But the thing is, guys,
Machete doesn't see a problem, and that's, you can't solve a problem unless you realise there is a problem. And from the sound bites that he's putting out, very few and far between, by the way.
See, I understand. I understand what he said on TalkSport, saying we've had injuries. He's trying to calm it all down. I understand that, because we are all.
Why didn't he say to Everton TV?
But it's the way he comes across. So it comes across so that it's on a national radio station. Mate, like, do it on Everton TV, so Sky can use it. So the narrative, there has to start being a narrative coming out of the club, a narrative that calms us down.
But he's ignored the issue. The fans weren't shouting, sack Benitez.
Yeah, they were saying sack the board.
And he's come out and said, Benitez is safe. He's not addressed.
Exactly. But he won't, because that would mean he'd have to make some real decisions, because he probably thinks, Barrett Baxendale was actually brought in to help run the club and to get the stadium, so she's doing that. Bill was brought in, I don't know why, but what Bill does, I don't know what he does, but I know he does something, because otherwise he wouldn't be the chairman. So when people say he hasn't got an influence, well, he must have some kind of influence, because him and her they're the day-to-day people, surely. He has an office in London, and Micheri's the on me boat, mate, you know, watching Cenk Tosun's cut hat-tricks, I don't know. But it's like, and then he's got the agents in his ear saying, sign this player. So he must do something, otherwise, hang on. You're the chairman of the football club, you get paid.
But this is what I'm saying.
You get paid.
If they brought, like, that Masters in, who ran the Premier League, right, he knows about football, doesn't he? I'm not saying, don't get me wrong.
That makes too much sense.
I don't know whether he's great, but what I'm saying is, at least knows something. If he brings that Masters in and says, you're either the chairman now, or you are a consultant, whatever, right? At least you're helping, say, like Denise Barrett-Baxendale. She might be great at being a CEO of something, but where's her development? Who's she learning from about football and other options? If that Masters comes in, he knows he's done deals with companies, he's done deals all over the world.
Surely.
He works with the stakeholders.
Can you imagine Liverpool making someone who'd run a charity the CEO?
No, of course.
They didn't. They went out and got a fella who knew everything about football and was linked into everyone in football. You know, in Peter Moore's. Everton, like I'm glad it's getting out there now. The national media stands. We are the disaster of the month, aren't we? We are the thing of the month now because United's sorted. But it's important that message gets out, because you can't change your manager every 18 months for 5 years and there not be a problem above them. There has to be there is a problem. So we need the club, and he needs, like you just said, guys, He needs to identify. That's the first thing. And maybe this is why the other lad was on the board. Maybe he was a sleeper. Maybe, you know, he was a bit of a sleeper agent. You know, getting it back to him, getting it back to his uncle. Maybe he was that fella who was just relaying
in the room. Yeah.
We need I just don't get if you've put this much money into a club and you are building a ground. Why would you have some really untested person running the club day to day? Why would you not strive to go and get a Fortune 500 CEO that knows about? That's just what I don't understand. It's what I don't understand. It's like getting a Rolls Royce and putting a ladder engine in it. What's the fucking point?
And he's not an idiot who's inherited money. He's obviously got something about him because he's made these billions.
Well, I'm starting to think otherwise, mate.
Exactly.
I'm starting to think otherwise.
No sense.
He's an accountant, and yet our books are terrible.
God, he's turning into a James Bond villain.
So I just think, for me, that if he's not going to sack Rafa Benitez, then something's got to change. If he's not going to sack people on the board, then get someone in who has run the business of football and show everybody that things are moving forward. What he really should do today is go, right, fans aren't happy. The story in The Athletic today about it. We've been on Sky, seen Falcon Blues lads have been on TalkSport talking about it. We've seen the View from the Bullens lads podcast with the banner or people who do know at the banner. We've seen things getting out there. It's appearing in more newspapers. Yeah. It's all coming out. And I haven't seen all of those, and we haven't done it, all of us just going, sack Benitez and it's all solved. None of the lads have said that. They might say
that's
the manager's not helping, right?
Well, that's all they've come out and addressed.
Of course, but so what he really needs to do now, is go, hang on. So all of those fan groups and people in the stadium who really matter, we don't matter. Do you know? People in the stadium last night matter, are saying sack the board.
Exactly.
We want answers, right? So we should go, there's an issue. There's obviously an issue, right? So what are they saying? Right, never heard from the director of football. Marcel, Friday, you're sitting down with Everton TV, 20-minute interview about what the direction of this football club is from a football perspective. Denise, you're sitting down and you're going to address the fans, the direction of the football club overall, right? But as well as that, because people will go, well, what's the point of that? Well, at least we'll get told something, which is not happening. And the other thing you should be doing is what you've just said, going and getting someone from a big company that has ran a big company, knows about business, or go and get someone from, like I said, Richard Masters, someone like that, and going, you're coming in because you know the business of football, you know the business of the Premier League, and you are going to run this football club. So we as fans go, we've brought in a specialist to drive this club forward.
Even if they bring him in just to do an independent review.
Yeah.
And see, because they've done a review of themselves and there's no wrong, it's all good. Because they all kept the job.
Well, they've done it, they've done it.
They reviewed myself, it's like me at work going,
am I doing a good job?
My performance, yeah, I'm doing great.
Yes, I am doing a good job.
Hey, Rash, off you go, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Am I doing a good job? No, it is. It's all just, review. It's all, and until he recognises that, like you just said there, if you've got a problem with, if people feel there's a problem with the board, even if he went on telly, Macheri, and went, Denise Baxendale is doing a fantastic job. Her remit is to get the ground built, and she's done a fantastic job, and you can see it here. You know what?
Sound.
Even if you bullshitted me by doing that, which wouldn't work for me, but it's communication. It's communication that might tell people what's going on, and you know he could go. Marcel Brands is doing a fantastic job. His job has been to solve all the financial issues of cleaning out a squad that was built by the previous regime, Steve Walsh, whatever, and he's doing a great job. It's nonsense, but he's doing a great job. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you're not, like you've just said, you are not addressing the problem. There aren't people with banners saying Rafa out.
No.
There's people with banners addressing the quality of the football club. At the end last night, there was a little bit of, fat Spanish, W for a little spattering, but the main song was, and this is what all the journals picked up on, was sack the board.
Yeah.
That was the noise. Don't come out and tell me Rafa Benitez is keeping his job. I'm not arsed, mate. I want you to address what's going on at the club. And listen, Liverpool scored a fourth. It was brilliant. Jota made Alan look like the fella against Cruyff in 1978 or 74. Sorry, he made him look like a silly little boy, and it was a good finish. And they won 4-1, and it was dead easy. And there was pink flares, and then all the kids run on the pitch, and then one of our fans ran on the pitch looking dead hard, and then just went, "We have a chat."
Because he probably realised
I know.
when he got on, he's probably thinking, what am I actually going to do?
Fair play to him.
At least he showed more heart than some of our
Showed more heart than the stewards.
Yeah, just stood there watching.
And we all just walked out the ground feeling just like we knew that was coming. It happened, and it's done now. And Monday night is going to be very, very interesting because it's a different set of circumstances. It is an Merseyside derby. It's a game that you look at it and think, we should be getting something from this game. 100%. Arsenal aren't amazing, and we should be getting something.
100%.
But today is Thursday, and that's Monday, and who knows what'll happen in between them. But all I know is I'm having a boss weekend because Everton aren't playing.
Yeah, nothing will happen is what'll happen.
Oh yes, strictly quarterfinals or whatever it is. Bit of the castle. Happy days.
No footy. I think the thing is, when it went 3-1, they played with the slippers on. It was so easy, and we brought Cenk Tosun on, which was incredible.
Says it all, doesn't it?
So listen, the issues, we've said it a million times, the issues are bigger than Rafa Benitez. I'll let anyone calling for him to go, I'm not telling them they're wrong, because I honestly can't sit here and go, no wins in 8, he definitely should stay, because why should he? He's making mistakes week after week now, which is poor. He's not helping himself. The caveat to that is the injuries haven't helped him. The squad isn't good enough. We give him £1.5 million to spend. But the issues, until we start correcting everything above it and getting a through line, we can sack him and put the next fella in.
Nothing will change.
Imagine putting Dunk. I'd love Dunk in charge because at least we get behind him.
You'd get the bounce.
He'd struggle with this squad. So would Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. They'd look at these and go, "What? Why can't you just run?" Yeah. And what have we got? It's until the issues are corrected above, we will continue to have the same 100%. Problems, won't we? And
right. Let's just look at the stats from the game. I say 70% possession in the pre-match. Probably. 8 shots to their 16, 2 shots on target. We had 1 big chance. They had 5, which is embarrassing. 579 passes to our 254, which is about right. They're an elite football team, so that's probably about right.
But when you spent money, you should be able to muster better than that. Yeah. Let's be honest.
It's embarrassing. There you go. We're going to continue this conversation on for a little bit on our Patreon, because we are live currently on Patreon. So if you want to join us on Patreon, the links are in the description. We do daily live shows. Yeah. Don't have nightmares.
There you go. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you later.